Hello, hello, everyone. Just give me 1 second here. I do have to connect all my platforms. So give me a second. Welcome to my first joint live here. I'm using StreamYard so that I can stream on multiple platforms at once. Today's topic is why you don't have what you want. And I am going to go into this in a lot of detail regarding not only the physical side, but also the metaphysical side, meaning that I'm going to talk about it in a very um, breaking, broken down way of masculine versus feminine. Okay, so to get started, let's just talk about being clear. Being clear about what you want, because a lot of people out there are not getting what they want because they're not clear. They're not crystal clear. And I'm not just talking about I want more money or I want a partner, right? I'm talking about being crystal clear on exactly how much money you want, how you want to feel when the money gets here, and the same thing with a partner or whatever it is that you want. Be clear. Be clear on exactly how you want to feel when the person is in your life. Being very clear about the type of characteristics, how you want them to look, and how you want them to make you feel. Okay, all of these things are extremely important. So I would say that step number one is getting clear on what it is that you want. Now, let me explain to you a little bit about what I mean when I say there's the physical side, right? And then there's the metaphysical side, or there is the subconscious. And then there is the conscious. This is expanding on my video that I've already made over on Instagram if you guys want to go check it out over there. So basically, we all have the awareness that we want something consciously. For example, I can say, I want $1 million, or I want a six-pack abs, or I want this material thing. And it's easy to say these things, right? It's easy for me to say, I want this, but then not back it up with actions. And the reason why people do this is because they consciously, or this very tip of the iceberg, which is the conscious mind, does want this thing. But what happens is you're not backing it up with the rest of the 95% of your subconscious. Your subconscious mind rules your behavior. It rules how you take action, your energy, and how you show up in the world. So obviously from this example you can kind of get the idea of why you don't get what you want when you only consciously want it, right? You have to make sure that you are subconsciously and consciously on board 100%. This is what I mean when I say the masculine side, right? And the feminine side, meaning the thoughts, the energy, and then the actions that you're taking in your daily life. All of these things have to be aligned if you really want to get what you want, right? Because there's things out there that we say we want, but we're not willing to change for them, or we're not willing to go through the challenges or become the person that is the type of human being that can have or hold those manifestations. Okay? Let me give you another example. If you are someone who grew up in a family that was broke, and the most money that your parents ever made was combined, let's say $80,000 a year. And so you're used to your family having, decent money, but not really to where you could do anything extravagant. You weren't starving to death, but you never really felt what it was like to be rich, right? Or have a lot of money. And what happens is when you grow up and you decide that you want to make a lot of money, you're going to have to become a different person because the parents who taught you, who trained you, you learned from not only their thinking patterns, you learned from their actions and their energy that that is how much money they made based on those things, based on how they thought, based on the energy that they held, and also based on the actions that they took. In order for you to make more money than your parents, than your friends, than society, or whatever it is that you want to say. You have to become a different person. That is why people say you have to change who you are to get to the next version of yourself, because it's literally that simple. If you are thinking and acting the same way and expecting the same result, you're crazy. We've heard this saying before. So, in order for us to not create this lack of self trust and this anger or a sense of being, what's the word I'm looking for? Very dissatisfied with ourselves. We need to stop making promises or saying certain things that we cannot follow through on. That is why I believe it's extremely important for us that if we are going to say that we want something, if we are going to claim something that we're going to move toward, whether it be a goal, an intention, or whatever, you need to only say it and speak it if you are ready and willing to change so that you can get it. And I say this because if we are constantly claiming things that we want, I want this, I want that, I want this, and there's never anything to back it up, you lose trust in yourself. You slowly but surely lose your self belief because you're saying consciously, I want these things, but nothing's happening. And so there's a part of you that gets let down. You start to lose self belief. And this is only because you, until now, didn't have the understanding that, okay, I understand that I want this consciously, but how can I change my subconscious, or how can I make it to where all of the rest of me is on board with this goal or desire? So now let's move into what are some things that we can do, right, every single day that is going to help us move toward these desires or these goals, these intentions that we have for our life. Okay. Before I go ahead and go into this next section, let me just go ahead and read over some comments. I just want to make sure that I answer any questions that you guys might have. Hello. Oh, hi, Sabrina. It's been a long time. Good to hear from you. Very cool. Let's see. We got a few people in here. Yes, every level requires a different version of yourself. Yes, exactly. Which is very cool and exciting, right? Because we get to achieve higher and higher goals and different things in our life. And in the process of doing so, we get to become a new version of ourselves. We basically get to shape and mold ourselves into whatever it is that we choose. Yes, people change when they're ready. Yes, exactly. And that's true. The sad thing in response to that comment is that a lot of people have to go through a lot of suffering and a lot of struggle for them to finally get to the point where they're ready to change. And let me speak on that just really quickly. If we really sit with ourselves and we're willing to grow and be honest, right? We have to understand that there's parts of our personality, whether it be from past traumas or whatever was familiar for us growing up or through whatever it is that you experienced. We have these certain set points or these familiar energies that we live in. And if we don't become aware of those things, we can stay trapped. Something that most people deal with is an addiction to fear and suffering. And as a human being, because of the millions of years of us evolving from this energy, this isn't something that changes overnight. This is not something that we can expect ourselves to just self help our way out of, if that makes sense. Like it's something that we're going to have to do constantly on a daily basis to remind ourselves that we're safe, remind ourselves that we're okay. Why do I bring this up? In regards to this comment, people change when they're ready. 100%. Everyone's on their own path, but also we will change when we get honest with ourselves, when we get honest about why it is that we're choosing, say, to not change. Whether it's, I prefer to be in this familiar energy where it's easier, even though for example, the relationship sucks. I'd rather stay here because it's familiar. Well, I want to make more money, but I'm not going to leave this job because it's comfortable and it's easier here. So maybe the first step before even trying to achieve your goals or desires, step number one would be to ask yourself, am I ready to be uncomfortable and stop moving from familiarity? Am I okay with changing the way that I move toward things instead of running from my past, running from pain or fear? How am I going to change the way that I am motivated, the way that I'm disciplined, per se? And obviously, people watching this content, if you are someone who is seeking a better life, if you are someone who's asking the questions, how can I be a better person? How can I make more money? How can I attract my perfect partner? How can I make enough money that I can have financial freedom and do whatever it is that you want to do with your life? Those are the type of people that I'm speaking to. The people who are at the stage where they are ready at some point in their energy and their consciousness, they are ready to make a change. That is where you need to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, are you willing? Are you willing to get uncomfortable and to make the... Sorry, I just had a call come in, so I had to let it process and then we should be good now. But anyways, I think that, like I mentioned, the first thing is that being honest with yourself, getting clear on what you want, writing it down, okay? Second thing is asking yourself and looking around in your life and saying, okay, what are the belief systems? What are the things that I have in my life that come easy to me? Because this is going to show you where you don't have blockages, where you don't have belief systems that are working against you. And then from there, you can ask yourself, okay, well, what are the things that I want that are not currently in my experience? Those are the areas that need work. This is the part of us that we need to sit with and say, okay, why have I procrastinated this? Why is it so hard for me to achieve the financial freedom that I want? Or why is it so hard for me to get the body that I want? Because some aspect of your awareness, you are resisting that change because of fears, because of past traumas, whatever it is. Your brain has attached some sort of pain to that change. Because here's something else you have to understand. Your ego doesn't give a crap about your personal development. It would rather you stay safe and comfortable than for you to change and evolve. Because survival is in your biology, not to thrive, to survive. So if you don't understand this, then you're just going to be like, okay, well, it's too hard, it's too much work, and then I'm going to move on. So being very aware and knowing these things, understanding your biology, understanding why you have these thoughts, why does it feel so hard to go against my belief systems and the things that I'm used to, right? My normal routines that I had growing up or whatever it is. Let me see here. I think I have a few more comments. Oh, it's Maggie. Change is uncomfortable, but growth comes from it. Yes, 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 yes. I totally agree. So very true. Thank you guys, everyone who's joined the live. And thank you for the engagement. I love reading the comments. It's super fun. But yes, so you guys kind of get the idea. And I know that for me in my life, I have manifested, if you want to call it that. I've brought a lot of incredible things into my life that I wanted. For example, oh, the dogs are in the back because JC just got home. And the reason why I got a lot of the things that I wanted, of course, I'm still moving toward some of the goals that I have. And even when you reach the goal, you set a new goal because you're constantly growing, learning new things, learning, okay, I don't want this, I do want this, clarifying and moving again in a different direction. But The way that I have been able to every year become a new person, think differently, attract different things in my life is because my number one priority has been changing my consciousness, has been changing my thinking and my energy, and also, of course, my actions, right? But that's a natural byproduct. Your actions are a byproduct of your mental state. And what I mean by this is when you change your thinking and you change how you react and relate with your thoughts, you change your energy. And when your energy changes, you will take different actions. Okay? But I understand that there are a lot of people that resist this concept because a lot of people want to make excuses and be like, okay, I understand that I need to change my thinking, and then they just never take action, right? Well, here's something to know from this. If you are doing the work on yourself mentally in the correct way, it will change the way you take action. If you are doing the mental work, the manifestation work, the shadow work, and all the things, right? But you're never taking action, that is a sign it's not working. Or whatever you're doing is not fully integrating into your subconscious. Because like I said before, I want you to think about the subconscious as the body, okay? When you truly reprogram your subconscious, your body will respond differently. I'm talking about when people heal their traumas at a subconscious level, your body changes. You literally lose weight. You will respond differently to people. You are no longer moving from fight or flight. This is how people heal diseases and all sorts of crazy stuff, right? Because when you heal the conscious and the subconscious mind, you become whole, right? Now your thinking, your desires, your beliefs, and everything become one. And now you're a powerhouse. Now, when you think, I want this, everything in your power is on board to move you toward that thing. Let's give an example of health, right? Plenty of people out here say things like, I really want to lose weight. I really want to be healthier. I really want to feel better and have more energy. But then you look at them and you're like, dang, they say this a lot, but they don't do anything about it, right? Like you see them and you're like, okay, well, they're eating fast food. They don't go to the gym. They don't exercise. Okay, of course, right? Because their subconscious doesn't want that. At some level of your being, you are resisting health for some reason, okay? Then you see the other person, right, who says, I really want to be healthy. I think I want to lose 20 pounds. And all of a sudden, the next time you see them, they're already 10 pounds down. They're eating healthy. They're going to the gym, and you're like, wow. And to some people, it just looks like, wow, they're lucky. Oh, wow, this person is just blessed. Or whatever the excuse is. No, it's just that they have alignment with their beliefs. It's the same thing with people who get money. People think that rich people are lucky. No, rich people have belief systems that support them, that support their financial freedom because they have a thought, have an idea, $1 million idea. Their energy and their actions move in one direction toward that goal. And then they get the manifestation of the business, of the money, of whatever it is that they want. So that is an extremely important part of what people call manifestation. That is why for me, my passion and my focus is always on thoughts because of course we have to take the action. Like I'm not going to sit on the couch every single day and be like, okay, I want abs, I want abs, I want abs without going to the gym. I'm just going to sit here and manifest it. Because I understand that if I want to get stronger, if I want to have abs and I want to have like more strength, I'm going to also have to go to the gym and put in the work to get to that specific desire. Also, if you don't back it up with the thinking and the energy, what happens is people fail or they sabotage themselves because they run into one sort of setback, let's say. Let's say they think they hit a plateau, or they go for a week to the gym and then they just give up because they tried to effort their way to their goal without backing it with their thoughts and their energy too, right? That is why I push so strongly to people who say things like, I want this, I want this, I want this. Do the work to make sure that your conscious and subconscious are on board. Okay? Because it's so easy to say I want something. It's easy to say I want the money, I want the body, I want this. Okay? Okay. And then take the action for a week, for 3 weeks, for however many weeks. Okay. Are you being consistent? Are you consistently moving toward it? Are you doing the work on your thoughts, on your energy to move toward the thing? It's important to have both. Okay. I want to share also, I guess I said this before I got distracted, but here are a few ways that I have worked in conjunction with my conscious and subconscious. Number one is using things like hypnosis. Okay. Hypnosis is something that taps into your theta brainwaves. For example, hypnosis is something that you're in during the first 7 years of life. Okay. Babies and young children are in a theta brainwave state or a state of hypnosis. Humans or adults can also tap into this hypnosis or hypnotic state during the first few hours of waking up, or not even first few hours, first, I think it's 20 minutes of waking up, and also as you're falling into sleep. When you are super, super relaxed, when your brainwaves slow down and you fall into a theta brainwave state. This is when you are super susceptible to suggestion. Your subconscious is very susceptible to bringing in new ideas, new concepts, new truths, new things that you can install in your brain, in your consciousness, so that you can change your belief systems that will change your identity and change how you show up and take action. Okay, so that's the first one that I think is really important, is utilizing all the tips, tricks, and resources. I don't know what's going on with my mouth today. I feel like I can barely talk. Utilizing all these tools that we have to make sure that we can be successful. Because, for example, I know that a lot of people in this world have had relational trauma of some kind, right? Or have had issues with money. Maybe they grew up broke, or maybe they had a really hard time with their health growing up, right? We all have struggles and challenges, okay? So why not utilize the tools and resources that we have to make our success easier, but also just guarantee that you're moving in the direction that you want to go. Okay? So hypnosis is one of those things that is just, it's really not that challenging to use. And let me give you a few um, tips that I like to use, like kind of like what I do in my routine um, for hypnosis. One of the things is you can listen to audios on YouTube, right? Before you go to sleep. And also, you can listen to them while you sleep and when you wake up in the morning. So, let's give an example of somebody who wants to make more money. You listen to a money affirmation or a money hypnosis while you're falling asleep and as you're waking up. What's going to happen is over the period of about 30 days, this is going to change your subconscious. This is going to start putting in new thought processes, new belief systems that will then change how you are taking action. But let me say this, do not use hypnosis and hypnosis alone. I want you to also combine this with self awareness work. And what I mean by this is you can use hypnosis as an incredible tool, but you also need to be aware when you are resisting taking certain actions. Because there are belief systems that are very ingrained in us, and maybe you have a crazy fear that money's the root of all evil or something like that. And you may be working on your hypnosis, and when you get this idea or this thing that you want to do, you have conflicting belief systems. Okay? So depending on the person is going to depend on how long you're going to have to like work on your fears and in conjunction with hypnosis. I'm just saying that I know from personal experience when I use hypnosis while I'm sleeping and first thing in the morning, it helps me move toward that desire faster. Okay? It does make it easier to break past those limiting beliefs. Okay? Another thing that I really like to do is gratitude. Okay. And using gratitude as a tool for manifestation. Because what happens is when we focus on gratitude, specifically first thing in the morning, it puts us in a very high vibration. And when you are grateful for things, you allow space for more to come in. Okay. Also, the higher your energy, the higher your energetic state, the easier it is going to be for you to manifest. Not only because you are happy, right? You're happier, you're vibrating at a better frequency, people are going to be more drawn to you, which means more opportunities, but also you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more energy to take the actions, the things that you know you should be doing, for example, going to the gym, eating healthier, right? So being in a higher vibration, being in higher energy is a win-win across the board. So we should be adding things into our routine, into our daily routine that we know support us in that, right? Hypnosis, daily gratitude, going to the gym, being healthy is going to make me feel better. It's going to give me higher energy. This is going to support me in my, obviously in my health, but also in my mental health. This is going to support me in my relationships. This is going to support me in making more money. Okay? So these things are all really good. I have a couple comments here. Any videos or streams you'd recommend? Okay, yes. So, how do I say this? I don't necessarily have any specific people per se. I do have a YouTube channel that sometimes I would use for affirmations and sleep hypnosis, and it's called You Are Creators, and it is on YouTube. They have a whole bunch of videos that you can listen to while you sleep. But what I will say, what I personally use for my hypnosis is a custom hypnosis. And this is something that I came up with as I was brainstorming, and I'm like, what would be more powerful than your own voice hypnotizing yourself while you're falling asleep and as you wake up? So, what I did was I opened iMovie, and if you have an iPhone, you can download it if you don't already have it downloaded. You're going to create a movie. So, what you do is you add a photo or you add something in there, right? You're going to click on voiceover. Then, of course, you're going to, before you do the voiceover, I want you to write in your journal or on a piece of paper all of your goals in the present tense. Okay. So, everything that you want to achieve, let's say you want to make $1 million a year. Okay. You can say either thank you for $1 million a year or I'm so happy now that I'm making $1 million a year. Everything needs to be in the present moment because the subconscious doesn't know the difference between past and future. It knows presence, okay? So you have to claim it. Claim it in the now. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm making this much money per year. The same thing with your health. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm in my dream body. You can add specifics if you want. I'm so happy that I weigh this much and I feel so incredible. Also, use affirmations like, I feel so confident. I am so confident. I am in love with my life. I am full of energy. I have an incredible partner by my side who is loving and loyal and supportive. Anything that you can conjure up that you want to bring into your life for 2025 and beyond, put it in your hypnosis, okay? Mine, depending on how much I add, can go anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Once I record my voiceover, reading all my goals, reading all these things out, then what I do is I take it and I duplicate it for about an hour. You can do it longer if you want to, because you want this to play until you fall asleep, okay? As you're passing through the brainwave states as you're falling asleep, that stuff is going to be seeping into your subconscious. Think of the subconscious as a fertile bed of soil, okay? You are planting seeds in your subconscious mind. Maybe you don't see it tomorrow, but do you plant a seed in a garden and go the next day and dig it up and say, where the heck is my corn? No, we don't do that. We trust the process and we understand the process of germination. We understand the process of seasons, right? In some seasons we plant, and in other seasons we reap the fruits and the benefits of what we've put in the soil, okay? So think of hypnosis like this, okay? You are putting new seeds in your subconscious. Now your work is to keep your energy high, right? Try to be doing things like, if you want to call it shadow work, I don't like that word because it's become a trend, but basically journaling and becoming aware of the things that you may have used to do that were holding you back, so that when it happens, you see it and you don't have to make the same mistake again. You don't fall back into old patterns again, okay? That can be very helpful in moving past this stuff, okay? Continue listening to the hypnosis, using your gratitude to keep your energy high, okay? I promise you, do this for 6 months and you will be blown away with how different your life is. Because everything that you claim, everything that you put in the soil, as long as you don't dig it up, must manifest. That is why people say have faith, okay? When you put something in the ground and you have faith in it, and when you move toward it with the actions. And here's the thing, a lot of people get things mixed up because they think that they have to take massive action, like they have to be working 8 hours a day and doing all this crazy stuff to get to where they want to go. Well, let me tell you a little secret. It doesn't take as much action as most people think it does. More of the work is energetic. More of the work is making sure that you are in alignment, because you will be inspired to take the right actions. You will be inspired to go to the right places that you need to go. And it's not going to feel so hard because you're moving and being guided to the thing that you want. And it's not going to feel like the old version of you because you are a new person. And you are allowing yourself to move to a new reality and be led by your intuition, by God, whatever it is that you believe in. Okay? So you have to trust the process. But you also don't want, what was I going to say? You don't want to be constantly questioning. Okay? Because what happens is when you plant a seed and every single day you're doubting it and you're worrying if it's going to come. That's the equivalent of digging up the seed. So don't do that to yourself, okay? And if this is something that, let's say, for example, you want to manifest a house, okay? Or maybe even something huge, right? Like, I want to buy my parents a house, or I want to do this or that, right? If it's too crazy for you to believe in this, I want you to start smaller, okay? Because your belief is something similar to a muscle that you can build over time, especially when you start to see what you're capable of, when you start to see your power, okay? So start with small things, okay? I want this, I claim this, I'm going to put it in the background. I'm not going to constantly overanalyze if it's possible for me to get it. And then when you continually see the power of your word that is backed by faith, you will start to believe in yourself. You will start to think, wow, I wonder if I'm capable of more, if I'm capable of greater things. then you can start moving into bigger manifestations, more powerful things, greater and greater and greater things, because you will build your self trust. You will build your self esteem. You are moving more and more and more into your true power. Okay. But all of these things come in stages. Okay. So don't try to jump to too much too fast and then get yourself discouraged and then give up. Okay. So let me go ahead and read some of these comments because I feel like we have a bunch of comments coming in. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. Do you have more info? Coming from Mr. Osamex74. What do you mean about do I have more info? More info about what exactly? Let me see. We have a couple more here. Let's see. I would know. I went to school and family farms. Okay. School for agronomy? Agronomy? I don't know what that is. Self-doubt is killing me. I overanalyze things. Yes, I understand because I am very, let me figure out a nice way to say this. I'm very analytical in a lot of ways, and I like to break apart concepts, and I think that's why I love to study and I love the metaphysical. I have a very like a philosopher mind, and so I understand the tendency to overthink. But what helps me is you can of course learn concepts, right? Because of you need to have somewhat of a knowledge of these concepts if you really want to have confidence in them, right? Because you're probably not going to just take everything I say as truth. You do need to do maybe some of your own research, right? So that you have a solid foundation for yourself. Because one thing is hearing what someone else says, and another thing is learning it for yourself and experience. Experience will always be the best teacher. Okay? So a lot of this stuff you're just gonna be like, oh, cool, she says that this and this is true, and she's gonna manifest her life. Well, she's lucky, whatever, whatever, right? But you won't know until you try and it is successful for you. Okay? So you really have to just go all in and do your best to suspend your disbelief just temporarily. Because if you don't, you're never going to get anywhere. You have to be 100% committed to seeing if something can work. And I feel like with the self-doubt thing, um, something that can be helpful is writing down in your journal or wherever things that you've done in the past, successes that you've had, and hyping yourself up, right? Going back in your life and saying, okay, I was successful here. I was able to do this. I was able to um, get through this challenging time or this thing, right? Build yourself up the same way that you would your best friend. Okay? If your best friend was having a hard day, if your lover was down and had a defeat, how would you build them up? This is the type of thing that you need to be doing to yourself because this is going to create more self confidence, right? This is going to create more self esteem. Okay. And then, like I said before, start with small things so that you can build your wins. And when you build your wins, you're going to have more and more successes to base your experiences on. And then you can kind of go from there. And then, I guess, on top of that, to be present, right? Because it's easy to constantly be in our head overanalyzing and thinking things, and this is a mechanism of control and fear of something not happening. So what works for me in those situations is distraction. So doing something you love, a hobby, um, affirming your knowledge of belief in yourself, or even learning more about the subconscious so that you start to understand it more. That can also be helpful. Reading books like maybe Joe Dispenza, because he talks a lot about this in very detailed terms that's not just woo woo spiritual, it's backed by science. This isn't just something that we we hear now and then it's like, okay, well you can't prove it. Well, there's proof now. There's literally proof scientifically that this stuff is powerful and that it works. So educate yourself, read books, and that will be very helpful. What keeps you grounded? Um, what keeps me grounded? For me personally, I I use gratitude as a practice to help me stay grounded. I also use journaling. So whenever I have negative thoughts, fears, things that come up for me, I write them down because I feel like for me, because I have a lot of mental energy, things going on in my mind, if I get them out on paper, it becomes much easier for me to recognize that it's not true, right? I can see it in front of me and it kind of diffuses the power that it has. And of course, exercise, stretching, things like that, that keeps me more in a good place. I feel like I don't know if I'm naturally grounded or if I'm the opposite, to be completely honest. I'd have to ask people in my life, but I travel a lot, like the past year. And so maybe I'm just used to not being grounded, to be honest. I don't know exactly, but those are kind of the things that I use to keep myself in a good place. And I feel like that's kind of what you're meaning by grounded. I think that was all the comments that I saw for a minute. Let's see. Hypnosis help. Yes, and there's a lot of people that teach on hypnosis. Like you have obviously the people who do the crazy stuff, like they go on stage and then they make people sleep and all that stuff. I've seen that happen a few times, but that's really not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being able to tap into your subconscious through sleep, right? And through when you first wake up in the morning. And like I mentioned, I do use iMovie. You really can use any recording software that you have that works for you. Trying to think if there's anything else that I specifically do. Um, I really just educate myself a lot too on topics that I want to move toward. For example, if I want to like start making more money, I'm going to educate myself on what is it that makes people rich, right? Start hanging around or being around and seeing how those people think. How do the people that have what you want act and think? Because clearly they've done something to get where they are, right? So the old saying, success leaves clues. This is true, right? So paying attention to the people who already have what you want because they're probably doing something, right? So those things are all pretty helpful. Um, I'm just going to kind of tie this all back together. I think that, like I said in the beginning, first, be clear on what you want, okay? And don't say you want it if you're not willing to change, if you're not willing to get uncomfortable temporarily to get what you want, because then you're just going to bring yourself down. You're going to lose self respect. You're going to lose self trust, okay? So when you are ready, then you say, okay, I want this, and I'm going to find out how to get it. No matter if it means I got to change my personality, I got to change my beliefs, I got to take different actions, you're going to get it. Okay? So be committed to yourself before anything else, right? Commit to your goals and your dreams. And then find ways that you can support yourself on that path. Like I said, study people who've done it before, learn what they're doing, and above all, understand at least what's helped me the most. I feel like in every area of my life, study universal laws, study spirituality. When you learn about the brain and the mind and the metaphysical and energy, you become so much more powerful and more at peace because I feel like I don't have to struggle and work as hard as I used to get the things that I wanted because I understand now the unison of thoughts, energy, and action, aligned action specifically. And when you don't know that, a lot of people, they just bang around in the physical world and they, like Joe Dispenza says, they just create matter from matter. And this is a very slow way to manifest. Okay. So when you start learning about energy and you start learning about quantum physics and learning how to manifest through that, you literally become able to bend time. And the things that you thought were going to take so long don't take so long. And aligning your energy with the things that you want. And I guess I can talk a little bit about a more spiritual concept, but that is aligning yourself with the vibration of that which you want. Okay. And I know that some people don't like to hear that because they think it's woo woo and it's whatever, right? But everything is energy. The universe is energy. We all vibrate at a certain frequency. So if you want to understand things in a very, very basic way, it is energy, vibrations, okay? And that we have to become the vibration of that which we want. And you become that by thinking and being that which you want to be. So with all that being said, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to touch on today. Let me make sure we don't have any more comments. I wish we were friends. Well, we kind of are. We're virtual friends. Yeah, I love having friends that remind me of all these concepts and help keep you accountable, you know? Those type of friends are very helpful because it keeps us in check. And obviously we're human. We're going to have our times, we're going to have our moments where we want to be a victim, we want to believe that other people have control over our experience and they're the reason why we didn't get what we wanted and all this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, we are the ones who create our life experience. Everything that we have or don't have is because of us and our choices. And it's important for us to get to the place where we accept that because until you do so, you remain a victim of circumstance. My favorite topic to talk about, thanks for sharing. Yes, you're so welcome. Me too. I can talk about this for hours. But yes, I think that that is the gist of it, you know? And before I head out, if you guys want to hear about any specific topics on spirituality, on manifestation, health, relationships, all those things, you guys can let me know here just so that I can create a note for my next lives, or even just leave a comment, right? If you guys want to see anything specific. Um, in closing, I will say that I'm just want to give you guys an idea of what my life looked like. Let's say, I don't know, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I, maybe even longer than that, because progressively my life has changed by making more money, being in better relationships, and getting the things that I wanted and manifesting the life that I really want. And like I said, all of this has come about by me utilizing the tips that I share with you today, you know, and using hypnosis, using affirmations, using gratitude, constantly working on myself. The number one focus and priority for me was always understanding that life is a byproduct. Everything out here is a reflection of me and my decisions. Okay? So if I want to have a different life, if I want to have a different experience, why would I be so focused on everything out here when I can focus here and everything out here automatically changes? So keep that in mind when you want to have a different reality or experience out here. Look within, change here first. When you change here, everything out here has to follow. It has to, it's law. And the life that I live now, I am so blessed to have exactly what I prayed for a year ago. And of course, now I have a new set of goals, a new set of things that I want to accomplish, and I'm moving toward those things. And of course, one of those is being able to share my experience and help teach other people how to do the same thing. And I'm traveling, I'm in an incredible relationship, I'm constantly moving toward the next level of my health, and I feel so blessed to have a healthy body. I'm very at peace with my lifestyle. I have great relationships with my family. I'm just blessed all around. I have the money that I need to do what I want to do, but I think that that is the goal of everyone, to be able to have peace, to not move from survival, to be able to be happy with their life, to create from overflow, to be in relationships that feel peaceful, supportive, loving, soulmate relationships, people that are moving toward the same vision and goals that you are, and be able to create with that person, right? Those are probably what everybody wants, right? We all want to have the ideal partnerships and the money and the financial freedom and the health. So these are kind of just things that, in my opinion, are kind of no-brainers. So why not learn how to have those things? People say it all the time, life is short. Yes, life is short, but what's the point of living this life if you're miserable? Why did we come here if we were just supposed to be in misery? You know? So do the things that you need to do to make yourself happy. Don't settle. Do whatever it is to get yourself to the place you want to be. Of course, I'm not talking about hurting other people, okay? I'm saying do what you need to do to get yourself to that place for yourself, okay? This is your life, and you are number one. So treat yourself that way, okay? Believe in yourself because you deserve it, and we all do. I think that's going to be it for today. It was super fun chatting with you guys, and I look forward to doing more of these lives. I'm not going to promise how many I'm going to do. I want to say I want to do one at least once a week, but we'll see. My travel plans for the next little while are kind of crazy. I'm going to be gone for about 2.5 weeks. Me and JC are going to Mexico and then Guatemala and then Orlando, Florida. So we have a pretty crazy schedule for the next little bit, but it's going to be fun. And we're going to make a lot of cool content, and I'm going to see you guys soon. So again, thank you guys so much for commenting, for joining my live, and when will be the next one? I do need to create a schedule, huh? So people can kind of look forward to it. Let's just say for sure every Monday, okay? I can commit to that. Let's do Mondays. I also would love to try to do another one during the week, possibly Thursday or Friday, okay? And yeah, I'll try for two, okay? We'll try for two per week. And we'll have different topics every time just so that we can kind of chat. My favorite thing is getting on here and chatting with you guys and answering questions and helping people with certain things they're struggling with. I absolutely love that. I think that's like my little thing that excites my soul so much, is helping people pass their blockages and things like that. So if you guys have any specific things next time, we'll talk about it and we'll have fun and we'll learn how to move more in the direction of everything that we desire. And yeah, that's all I have for today. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.